Man, oh man, I've been waiting for this, man. I've been waiting for this. Brighton 3, Liverpool 0. Who would have thought? You know what? Everybody who's been watching us for the past couple of games now, to be honest. It's about 2 a.m. in the morning. As soon as I watched the game yesterday, plugged my song for a bit, slept off, man. Just couldn't think too much about it. Now I can't sleep, and all I'm just thinking about is I need to just rant somewhere and just put it out there, because I know a lot of Liverpool fans are feeling the same way, and even football fans in general just want to see a good game, see a good team perform, So where do I start? This has to be like the worst performance ever that I've ever seen, ever since the Roy Hodgson era, to be honest. Like, we were atrocious, man. I remember using that word today. We were that bad. We were really bad, man. And I remember watching the game, I was like, you know what? I think we need even 2 or 3 more goals put in our net so that we can actually think and realize how badly in position we are right now. Well, for the sake of, people like Alisson, who's been doing great for us, I'm glad they ended at 3-0, but I think the story is pretty much clear. Now, where do I want to start with this? Let's talk about the good points. You always have to think about the good points before we go ahead and spend all the time on the bad points. I saw Ben Dork, seeing him come on, seeing him being confident, trying his best, to be players, even when he tracked back, to win the ball back from Marsh. That was good to see, He had barely played for a little over 10 minutes and he already put in more work than Ox did for the whole of over 70 to 80 minutes. So that says something. And we haven't even started reviewing the players yet. Konate too was boss, He was all over the back line, making tackles, the corner side, front, back, and center. And, I feel like without him, say for example, Joe Gomez took his place and started, we probably would have been in a hiding right now. Brighton were that good, and I'm just thinking about it. Yeah, they were that good. And if I think about who else performed well, Alisson being Alisson, kept the goals to a minimum when you get out of that situation. Always a top player, put that mistake he did in the game against Wolves behind him, and roughly, that was it. The only other positive I can say is that we have a lot of players injured, so, like we're talking major players who are not playing right now. So, but then again, we're Liverpool and not supposed to anything. We should at least have enough of a fight, even if we don't get the result. And it was a bad game, And now let's go with the bad. We're not going to waste too much time because every Liverpool fan is kind of aware, But we're going to start with the anomalies. We're going to start with Robo. Robo was bad today. Like, nothing going forward. I don't remember one cross he put in. I don't. Like, I'm thinking about it, man. I don't remember one cross that he put in. That is, like, odd, man. And at the back, I think that's where most of the line, the attack was coming from. Like, Marsh was having a feast over there. Even when, Matoma would come in and cut and put a pass through, there was no challenge for Robertson to stop any play. He just had an anomaly today, man, or yesterday rather, because that's when the game was, and it was terrible. I know he will come back from that. I know it's a one-off, so we're just going to scratch that off. Matip, yeah, like Matip has been solid for us for the most part this season as well. Even during our bad form, he's tried our best, but man, yesterday he was horrible, man. I think it was, I don't know, it just seemed like he was shaking for the entirety of the game, man. It looked like he didn't even want the ball. And it would make poor decisions with carry the ball forward and leave us like stranded. Connected did that once or twice too, but most of the time was all Matip, man, doing and making all the bad moves and bad plays. And of course, he gave the ball away for the first goal after the restart, where we thought we'd be coming out, all hungry again, and that just kind of tipped us to the other side. His game was it's fairly explainable. He was bad, and that's what it was. I see him coming back stronger in the next game, so I'm not too worried about him either. Trent, Trent, my boy. People would say I'm biased, but I still rate him as one of the best right backs. But his defending has been put under the microscope, partly justified for this season alone because of how it started and how it was very, very casual with tracking back whenever we would lose the ball, whenever the ball go past them. And he does have a flaw when it comes to his defending. When I think I've been seeing some minor improvements, because obviously I watch him, day and day when he plays, in that his tracking back when he gets beat is slightly better. But one-on-one has never been Trent's problem. He has had rare games where the winger has beat him, Kvaratskhelia, for example, Rashford a few seasons ago, that comes to mind, but none that has really stood out that when I watch other right backs, for example, I haven't seen them suffer the same or even worse. Only a few right back can put their hands up and say, hey, defender can beat me or whatever. But yesterday, holy smokes, he was bad, man. Like Matoma had him in his crosshairs, beat him left, right, and center. The guy even got scared of him putting the tackle in. That's how bad it was. Sometimes only a shimmer from Matoma and the guy was lost, man. Trent would just be stuck, like the bad teams. Their mode at that point in time was reflecting on him as well. He did put on 2 sweet crosses though. His forward game never in question, so I don't even have to get into that. At least he's still putting 2 nice crosses. One for Ox, who's coming down the line with my rating as well, and the other for Gakpo. Tough chance, but could have stuck it in too, and that could have been 2 goals out of the bad play we had. I'm still gonna give him some slack, and I feel like we have another topic to discuss when it comes to regarding everyone talking about him right up in right midfield or whatever, or center midfield. I don't agree with that, but I do have a slightly altered opinion as to what position he will probably play. Maybe something I might discuss next time. But let's go on to the next part, which is going to be the midfield. The trio of Fabinho, Hendo, and Thiago. I'm going to start with the easiest first. Thiago's the easiest right now. Forget about his age, man. The guy is a baller. He knows how to create chances, throw a pass. When the team is solid defensively, that's when he can stamp his authority on the game. But if we're chasing loose balls, second balls, and everything, now he's going to be focused on the defensive front. And he's no defensive midfielder. That's not his game at all. So he's always going to struggle. That being said, he's still putting a nice tackle to prevent a nice goal scoring opportunity for Brighton as well. So overall, I think he's one of those that is just reflecting the form of the team as well. But he still has a few in him. But then, we have to think about the fact that we haven't invested in a proper midfielder since, 3 seasons ago? Which is already a long time now. We invested in, a 31-year-old at the time. So he's already getting older. The good thing is that it's never been about his pace, his skill. But Liverpool play like a high-intensity sort of game that we need those legs, man. We need those runners. And that's where Fabinho and Henderson come in. Fabinho, man, this season has been, jeez, been bad. I think I only remember you having one or two games in all, 16 something games that we played so far. But he's been, Klopp has tried a lot of things, put him on the bench, taking him out, you know, starting him, whatever. But he's just been bang on average this season. We're talking about someone who you could argue was one of the best defensive midfielders last season. Maybe only Rodri can have a say, honestly, in the top teams. But this season, yeah, it's not even close to being, it's close to the bottom right now. I'm gonna have to be honest and say that. Hopefully, he turns it around, whatever the situation is. Hopefully, we find a solution soon because I don't know. He's not a player that depends on his high intensity when it comes to playing. He just would position himself in solid places, and he could make a good tackle with his long legs, and he would just pull off nicely. But so I'm not going to say he's one of those that just, it's not run. No, like it's never really been his game. But he's struggling right now because the runners around him are also not making those moves. We miss a Wijnaldum type of player, man. Like, boy, do we miss him. But let's not forget he wasn't part of the team that went for all 4 trophies last season. So, that should also make us realize that it's not necessarily about the players that we've lost, but it's just about the current situation with the current players, which is that they've gone for all 4 trophies and they've been exhausted because they're in every single final or every single possible chance of winning. Like we actually battled for the Premier League even on the last day, and it was still up for grabs. We lost it obviously. That means that can drain you mentally, physically, all that stuff. But yeah, that's Thiago's part. That's Fabinho's part. And that brings us to Henderson right now. And Henderson, man, he's my captain. He's the one guy I've always stuck up for, even in the past. Then he's always been a skillful player, in my own opinion. Obviously he doesn't rely on that in the way he plays. But I feel like now he's literally, his main strength has always been his stamina and his ability to run around is kind of like up now. For him, I think he's one of the guys I would probably say that, he may have run his last race in terms of being able to be highly intensive with his runs and his sprints and everything. And he's just now at the twilight of his career. And he's old, like he's 34, 35? Like typical football age old that you can't depend on him making all those kind of high burst runs these days. So I think right now his position should either be bench or looking for a more stable role in a different team. That is the real truth. We have to keep on refreshing regardless of how well they've done for us. We have to be always oiled. That way we can always be on top. But the investors, they failed to address that position, and now we're pretty much just suffering as a result of that. So that leaves us with a midfield position, and that explains why they were bad. And for me, the reason why Liverpool is totally bad is that midfield. The defense is all right, the attack is all right, but when there is no cog, there is no connection, there is no link. Like we literally have to depend on long balls now, like putting long passes across. We've always done that, but the midfield has always been willing to run us to win the balls back. Now that ball winning is gone. That means Liverpool's philosophy is gone. So we need a refresh. And now we're going to be in a tough situation to get one of them in Jude Bellingham. Like we need like 3 players, y'all. We need like 2 at the minimum. I know Fabinho can still try and put him in a shit if it again, calm the end of the season and next season comes. Thiago can always be an impact player and sometimes start the game when everything looks like it's smooth and we have willing runners everywhere, But we definitely need a refresh in that position right there. And now we'll go to the forwards, where I feel like we're pretty much sorted. But where I also have to address people's concerns, especially Liverpool fans, in terms of why we're paying for people like Nunez and Gakpo when our priority should be in midfield. And why I am not opposed to us in the way we've got about it currently, and I'll explain why in a bit. But let's start with the performance of Salah. Salah has been Salah this season, hot and cold. He's no longer acting like the talisman. And when I mean the talisman, he's not dragging us out when we're trash. It's like he's only good when we're good, and when we're trash, we're trash. So he's lost his talismanic figure as well. I don't know if it's also from the drain, whatever. But they got that winter break, with the FIFA World Cup. So you would think that would help them reset. I thought that would actually help, us be better once we came back. But apparently, it looks like it worked the opposite. Those who actually went to the World Cup got even more fit and were ready to go. And those who actually got a break, then it was more or less like a restart again. It's like as if we kind of like lost our preseason, or effect, and we're trying to catch up again. And which is why we've been bad since the restart. Forget the results. We've been bad in terms of performances. So that's Salah. Gakpo, easy to rate. He's just Neil is just coming in, strengthening the system. Played what you would consider an unfamiliar role because it's not always a center forward. For Holland it was a different ball game, but then all of them were all firing, so it worked out for him. Over here right now, it's been brought in to create and also be flexible when it comes to attack. Kind of like Diogo Jota for us too. Can play in the wings, can play up front. And maybe Nunez falls that category as well, but Nunez, he's explosive, man. He's a total different topic. I don't even want to hear what people are saying right now about him in terms of like he's finishing all that kind of stuff. And Nunez deserves a special category of discussion on his own. And if I feel like doing that, maybe I'll come up with that for sure. But yeah, Gakpo does his first league game. Playing in a bad team. He's not a talisman, so he's not going to be the one that's going to drag us out. So all he could do is reflect what we did. That's pretty much it. Now Ox, holy crap, man! Ox was useless, man. Useless. Did not do anything for me at all. Like I said before, Ben Doku came on, put in more of a shift than he did for most of the game. The one chance he even had, he should have put it away. Weak efforts. And I think it all boils down to the fact that he's not had a position, nailed down because obviously with the injuries. Because when he was still fit right then, remember, 3 seasons ago, especially, man, like Ox was on fire. Gal was like making the midfield his own as well, and he was like a justified starter whenever he started. And it goes against Man City, brilliant goals. But he's still 29, but I feel like he's already ran his course in the Liverpool shirt, and he has to start thinking of another club. I'm sure he is already. I don't think he would be smart enough to sign a new contract because he needs proper game time, especially now that I think it seems like he's finally over his fitness problems. The only thing is like he can't offer anything specific. He's so out of sorts right now. He's not a specialist anymore in any particular position. His pace is gone. I still see him talking about, I'm still fast or whatever, but no, man, his pace is gone. I don't see it. His dribbling is still alright, but like I said, I think it's time for him to move on. He's been a solid servant for us. He's done great, and I would always love him for what he's done for us. But I think he's one guy that I know is certain that he should go. Another guy that I'm kind of like in 50-50 in terms of him going is the replacement for Matip, which is Gomez, right? And Gomez, yeah, man, that injury has taken its toll on him 100%, man. This guy, each time was approaching peak defender status, just like Matip, except Matip still retained most of his form, and then he was able to improve. Gomez would lose a lot of his form and would need more time to come back, and that's what we don't have right now. It's time, especially for someone who finds it tough to be fit. And trust me, I know fitness situations are tough, man. It's never on the player. It's never the player's fault. Like no one can be in charge of how their body reacts to certain situations and stuff like that. But it's really affected him right now, and that's where I come with the conflicted opinion as to what should be done about him, because he was rubbish, man. Let's not forget that it's all about today's games, but he was rubbish, man. Man, we're talking about a guy who hasn't scored in ages, man. Scoring his first goal by looping the ball over your head. Right? If you loop the ball over your head, you shield the guy off, man. You shouldn't be able to take the shot away. Like, come on, man. And he's had so many rookie mistakes, like schoolboy stuff, and they always costing us. Like, they've always cost us a goal. Like, I'm not seeing a defender whose mistakes has cost us so much like Gomez has in recent times. That's why I think, for me, the preferred solution would be he would need to go out on loan and have proper full season under his belt in maybe one of the, maybe he could be in one of the, clubs, a lot of people will come for him for a loan challenge for starting the Premier League. So yeah, because he's proven he's just lacking on match fitness. He's never had a run of games, and he's still combining it with being backup for Trent in right back, which doesn't help his cause as well, because he's also becoming a jack of all trades. Well, in the defensive side, that is. Otherwise, it would have to be like, it's time to go. But then he just signed a new contract recently, so I think the former will be the better approach for him. Let me have one full season under his belt. Can even leave January as well. Like, yeah, we have defensive problems, but man, like I feel like it's always gonna be Matip and Konate unless one of them gets injured. So one of the reasons to keep him, but we're not doing ourselves any favors, because we keep him. We have someone who's not fully fit or match fit and coming in to not do a good job. It did surprise me against Haaland though. So like, we know he's got it in him. That's why for me, it's all about just having a consistent run of games that can actually help him be that player that he's supposed to be. So that's why I'm conflicted in his own case, but I've seen Joe Gomez when he's at his peak, man, and the guy's a boss, man. Like, he was once in the England squad, so that should say something. I think the rest of the guys, the likes of Keita, he's run down his contract. We don't know what the performance is like. There's no point in making extra or whatever. But I do want to address something, right? And that's the other thing I want to say, which now brings me to Nunez. A lot of people have been talking about how, we should have given Manny the money that he deserves and blah, 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 instead of going for people like Nunez and everything. But we have to understand that there is a reason for us to go for players like Nunez and even Gakpo early now, the way the market works. We are not like, powerhouses when it comes to the financial side of, football, where we can compete with anybody in terms of cash. Look at what Chelsea's doing right now. I'm losing the game, buying the player. I'm losing the game and buying the player. That's Chelsea right now, man. It's insane, and they can do that, right? Like, they literally took Modric out of Arsenal's noses, right? Yeah, João Felix out of Man couldn't afford that wage bill. It didn't make any sense, but Chelsea paid for it. They can afford that stuff. We can't. So that's why we have to buy smart, and that's where I'm coming with Nunez. First of all, let's address the Mane elephant in the room right now. Mane is not a problem. Like, Mane has already hit his peak and is already maybe at that part before, like towards a slight curve of the decline, but not declining yet. Like, just kind of like sliding away, right? Like, and this is someone who plays with pace and everything, and is losing his pace every year. Yeah, maybe he has one or two more good seasons with us, but I feel like he would have also reflected this situation. His advantage right now is that he's playing for a team where they are like majorly the dominant force, and almost every other competition that they have is going to be way below them. And even during that time, they did struggle at some point, and he was part of the struggle prior to his injury, which I hope he comes back fully and fit soon. I think it's getting close to return. But also, if Mane was there, we probably have been playing different. Yo, you guys must have forgotten the 2020-2021 season when Liverpool were also atrocious that year, and we only managed to come back to third with a solid run of performances prior to the end of the season. And I'm hoping this season reflects that as well. We get our forms together, get bam, bam, bam. We hit top four, even if it's fourth position. I don't care right now. 7th, 4th doesn't really make any difference in my own opinion these days, unlike before. It's still a guaranteed Champions League place. And then the following season, we carry that form and we go again, all trophies, all fronts, and this time we've invested properly. Because it's going to be tough now. We need Bellingham in the midfield. And people will say, oh, he's overrated. No, man, we're talking about a lot of people that are coming after him. That guy's a boss. He's, 19 years old? And he already has that much mental control. That is one of the major parts of football, not just your skill alone. So, like, the guy, whatever team he adds up to right now is going to make them great. I hope somehow we're able to pull it off, but the chance of looking slim every time. But no need to think about the future until when it comes, right? So, hopefully Liverpool able to do a Van Dijk on him as well, where he has that major commitment because he sees whatever we're going to do. But that's the thing, we have to also look like a team that can perform it, not like a team that is already totally destroyed and needs to be a total restart, which I don't think we need. I think we just need a refresh in the midfield only, and I think we just need our momentum back because we're the same thing that bashed Bournemouth 9-0 after we were criticized heavily earlier in the season. So we still have it in us. We just have to believe that it's all about high intensity. Forget injuries. I know there are a lot of injuries. I know one's scared that maybe I might be the next player that gets injured or whatever. Maybe that's why they're holding back. But there might be a lot of reasons. But like I said before, Mane was never the problem, never the solution. He was part of the 7-2 defeat against Villa that same 2020-21 season. And it was his worst season as well. Goal scoring, poor. I remember everybody on his back as well. People have forgotten, man. When things are bad, they look for excuses. Excuses not with things that are the past. Excuses with the current stuff. And that's where I come with the justification of Nunez as a buy. Gakpo is one for the future. The money was also perfect as well. But Nunez is one guy that I see and I know that he's going to be one of the top strikers, mark my word, in the future. You're going to see that here in Liverpool as well. We're going to benefit from that stuff. You've never seen a striker who creates more chances by themselves in a long time now. And it's not even something that's regular for a tall striker too. He's creating his chances, man. This guy is causing hazard everywhere. Captain Chaos, y'all. The only thing right now is the finishing, and trust me, finishing will come. You don't have to be a natural finisher to finish a lot of goals, right? I'd rather create 10 chances and score 2 or 3 out of those 10 if I'm creating those 10 chances on a consistent basis than be making 2 out of 2 and scoring just 2 out of 2. Yeah, I'm right, but what happens when I don't have the service? When I don't create a chance? That means it's nothing, right? But he's doing great, and he's providing assists as well. The previous game against Brentford was the only time his finishing cost us. And I feel like it's going to be rare like that. It's not really going to affect us going forward. I think it's getting close. He already scored in the past weekend in the FA Cup against Wolves. So I know he's getting back there. And he's also been documented to have a slow start in his first season in every club, which he's already hit 10 goals for the season. So that typically by the middle of the season is considered good. It's just because, when it was coming in, everybody, including myself, started comparing and comparing against Haaland, man. And you know how the internet works. It's all over the place, man. And hey, the guy's a young chap, man. He's going to read the news. He's going to see what's happening. He's going to want to impress. And he did impress from the start. Community Shield got the W. First game against Fulham, even if he came out as a sub, got a goal and an assist. Solid start. Then it gets a headbutt, and then we know this is the rest of the story right now. It's almost like he's trying to play catch up. And because he did that error with the headbutt, he feels like he owes more and he's overdoing it. That's just his problem right now. Eventually he's going to calm down, and the calm also comes with maturity as well. So meaning he can only get better because he grows older, he gets better, and his pace is still going to be there. And the guy is, man, he's a menace, man, to defenders, yo. And I can bet that if he had played in today's game, Brighton would have had one or two things to worry about, that it won't be that confident to make as much moves as they did against us without him being played. So we have to also remember that, if we look at the case of Mbappe, for example, Liverpool always wanted to chat, right? But it got to the point where it became too expensive to purchase, and that would definitely would have happened with Nunes as well, because he had already shined the previous season, and if he had been allowed to stay or some other club get him, he would definitely shine there, because those clubs are more likely to be more stable than we are right now. Even if he had been United, as sad as I hate to say it, because they're a bit of a steady side right now. He just beat City, and convincingly too. It wasn't like no fluke. Of course, the offside goal, another discussion again, if I think about that, because I think that stuff was ridiculous, but they deserve it too. And when no doubt about it, I'm not even going to pull out on that, as much as I hate to admit it. But he would have thrived, and he would have been beyond our price purchase, unless we get the Saudi, so-called investors. But for me, I just want us to be able to get the players that we want. I don't care about rich fellas investing in the club, but if he has to get to that point for us to compete on all fronts and become a major force like Madrid is, where everybody's like, what, this is the place to be as well. Maybe so be it then, but no one should sleep on the fact that Nunes was actually a buy that had to be made, even if it's not the finish actually yet. Club actually warned us as well. Nobody listened. He said, hey, don't expect much from me early season. It's a long-term project. Nobody listened, man. Everyone's like, you know what, it's going to stop banging the goals, and he's making a lot of misses and a lot of bad touches, and then everyone's on his neck. And guess what? Those bad touches that were like rampant in the first few games have slowly diminished, man. Like, you don't find that anymore. He's having close controls. He's making nice dribbles, holding the ball well. He's like passing good right now. So now it's just the finishing is left. So everyone should love Nunes' back, and Mark Moore, like I said before, is going to come good. Is he going to hit 20 goals this season for sure? Regardless of this injury that's actually faced right now. And we missed VVD as well. Now everyone understands. Everyone's been on VVD's back. Oh, he's been his worst man this season. Yo, the guy's a massive presence, yo. Like, forget the fact. And the last game, like, even faster players than Bremer had never given Van Dijk problems. So it was obvious that something wasn't right. And I think he tried to manage it, and then it got worse, as the game progressed. So hopefully he gets fit soon, because we need it as soon as possible. And I hope this is a turning point for us. But I had to put this video out there, man. Like, it's what, past 3 a.m. in the morning right now. Still haven't slept. Need to get this off my chest. Need to get this rant off. I'm sure a lot of you would have been waiting for this as well. Probably feel the same way as I do. But yeah, if you guys think I kind of not saying the right things, let me know what you guys think, because there's no point in just recording this and not putting it out there. So let me know what you guys think. And if you guys agree with me, let me know as well. Like, I'm happy to hear opinions as well. It's definitely a discussion that everyone's having around the world. So, we can have a source here and try to see what we think as well. And hopefully we get better. This is a turning point for us. And this is a lessons learned, because we need to climb up the table now. We're lucky that we're not even close to half of the season yet, so we can still pull this through. We've had worse starts and where we made good at the end. So we have to believe as well. Arsenal and Spurs is going to be a fun game to watch tomorrow for the neutral, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Fans, non-fans, whoever gets run across this video. And yeah, if there's the next one, I'll catch you there for sure. Cheers.